your social media, it can seem that people are having more fun than you are. It also appears that they have better jobs as well. So here with some tips on how to take that job envy and make it work for you, we have career coach Sarah Vermont. Hi, Sarah. This is such a good topic. But you always bring the good topics. So you look, you know, you're scrolling and you're like, oh my God, that job's amazing and that job's amazing and why can't I be doing this? So I think we need to start by talking a little bit about jealousy.
Yeah, in the age of Instagram.
It's a thing.
We're all feeling it.
Yes. So what is happening? What is happening with jealousy, and are all jealousies bad jealousy?
No, interestingly. So there's a study that's fairly recent, and the researchers found that there's actually two kinds of jealousy.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of interesting because jealousy doesn't usually feel very good.
No.
So we usually assume it's a bad thing.
Yes.
And that's not always the case.
Okay.
Now there is one that's kind of bad. It's probably the one everybody recognizes. It's that feeling where you have kind of destructive feelings about the person you're jealous of. That's
You're
called
mad
malicious.
at them.
It's called malicious jealousy.
Yes.
And the way I like to explain that is like, that's the kind of jealousy where you're jealous of someone and you kind of secretly hope that they spill their hot coffee all over their cute new shoes. It's kind of like that. Like,
it's not very nice.
It's not a good feeling.
Okay.
Then there's another kind of jealousy that is far more productive for us. It's
Right.
called benign jealousy.
Okay.
And everyone will recognize this kind too. It's the kind of jealousy that sort of forces you to look inward and think about some changes that you might want to make in your life.
Yes.
And that's a way more productive thing, whether you're jealous of someone in your career,
Yes.
in life, jealous of the things they have, their relationships, anything.
I would say that's so much more positive on every single level. Like, instead of being mad at Beyonce because of her Coachella diet, maybe you need to think about, how am I going to stop having burgers and a bottle of wine every night?
Exactly.
Like, how do I sort of switch my own trajectory because I can't get at her, and that's not very positive. So how will the right kind of jealousy then help you out in life? Like, what steps do you need to take to have it be helpful?
Well, it's helpful only if you get specific about what you're jealous about. Like, sometimes when you're jealous of something, it's kind of this like vague feeling and you just know, oh, I'm jealous of that person, but you haven't really examined why.
Okay.
And so this benign jealousy, the good one, sort of forces you to look inward and think about what changes you'd like to make. So if you get specific and ask yourself, okay, I know I'm jealous of this person, but what is it specifically about them that I'm jealous of? Because it's usually not their whole life. It's usually like a facet of something.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, if I'm jealous of that, and here's the important question, what does that actually say about me, about what I want? If you can get actually intentional about turning it inward, it can be quite helpful.
Okay.
And importantly, you have to take action as well.
Yeah.
It's not helpful just to say, oh, I'm jealous of this person because they have X and I don't.
Yeah.
You have to actually commit to making even some small actions towards getting that thing.
And all of your advice always ends there, and that's why I really respect you. Like, you're always taking us down the road to eventual action, because you can do all the mind work, but then it's like, now what are you going to do?
Yeah, and baby steps are fine.
Baby steps are really good.
Yeah, they keep you sane.
That's absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you were doing your job, you would look out at people who were entrepreneurs and say, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So then what did you do about it?
Well, I used to be a business professor, and I remember at the time looking at entrepreneurs and again getting specific, and I was like, okay, am I just like jealous of entrepreneurs? I was specifically jealous of the freedom they had.
Yes.
A lot of people feel this way about entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
And so when I decided I wanted to build my own business, I was very careful about building in elements that would allow me to have a lot of control over things and lots of flexibility in my work.
Got it.
But it didn't, like, it wasn't like a lightning flash, and it just started with me knowing that. It was like this kind of, honestly, like this negative jealousy feeling at the very beginning. But if you do something with it, it can be quite helpful. For example, there might be people watching at home who find they're jealous of someone who's, you know, really good at a specific thing in an area that they're not good at.
Right.
That's a clue, right? That's probably telling you that maybe you want to develop some skill in that area.
Right.
Or a really common area of jealousy for a lot of my clients is they're really jealous that someone had the guts to go for something.
Yes.
That's a clue, you guys. If you are feeling that, that probably means that you're getting to a point where you're going to want to muster some courage for some of the own stuff you want to go after.
Very interesting. So I like the fact that when you were looking at other people's careers and that they were entrepreneurs, you actually pinpointed that it was freedom and independence that you wanted.
Yeah, it's huge for
So
me.
that's an essential part of the process.
Yeah.
You have to pinpoint exactly what you're looking at. You're not just saying, I want that job because I want Prada shoes. You're saying,
I mean, that's not terrible either.
which is fine,
Yeah.
right? But you're saying, I can pinpoint that I want more freedom, or I want more security, or I want more X, Y, Z, a better shift,
Yeah.
right? And then work from there.
Yeah, so the big secret is get specific about what it is,
Yeah.
figure out what it tells you about yourself, and then importantly, take some little actions.
Make the action steps. Very good, Sarah, as always.